First off, I want to thank everyone for being so nice at this event. It's been fantastic. I feel like, as Penty would say, some kind of celebrity. But yeah, we've been here 1 week now, and every person that we've encountered has been so friendly and nice to us. I apologize that I can't speak any Finnish. I wish that I could. If I could go back into the past, when I was a youngster, they even offered, in my hometown, they offered Finnish language courses. But as a kid, you don't think you need that, but I wish I had it now. But yeah, so my grandparents, my great-grandparents, they traveled from Finland in 1908 to Canada for a better life. And they accomplished that. It wasn't always easy, of course. It's not like it's not like today where I hopped on an airplane and in 8 hours I'm here. For them to leave Finland at that time, first they had to travel across the country to a train, and then train get to go on to a ship. And some of that we'll get to into the video. But when they came to Canada, it wasn't as though there was, this house waiting for them and this easy life. All they had was a piece of land. And at that time, Canada was encouraging people to come from Finland, and even advertising here, because Canada, they needed people, and they knew that the Finnish people had the skills to come there and get a piece of land and make a life out of it, because they already knew how to do it here. So they started with a small sauna cabin and built up to where they had, what I call the Kaksonen farm in Sudbury, Ontario. And yeah, so growing up, I spent a lot of time out at the lake with, my mama and papa, and learned to fish and to hunt, and of course have sauna and live that life. And in my hometown in Sudbury, it's a very large Finnish community there. There's restaurants, and we have our own Leinola's Finnish bakery there, where the locals can go and get the same sort of food that you can get here. I can tell you it's not as good. The food has been absolutely amazing here. Even we haven't really eaten at restaurants. We've been buying food at the grocery stores, and just the quality, it's been very nice. So I started into this DNA genealogy. I got one of those DNA kits that everybody's seen for a Christmas present, and you spit into a cup and send it off to Ireland, and weeks later it comes back, and you start, you can see on the map where you're from. And from there I started, well, I should maybe make a family tree. Might be fun to do. And so I started into the family tree, and doing research. Couldn't really get very far with the information. Was trying to, everywhere would get roadblocks. And then I found this man online named Penty, and he suddenly knew things that I had no idea of. So we started talking back and forth, and he said, he talked about this group here, and this is the Kaksonen Society, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, I tell my spouse back in Canada, I said, my father and myself were the last of the Kaksonen men that can have children, but I'm 53. but I still try anyways. But now I come here and I see all of these Kaksonens. It's, it's very special. It means a lot to me. So yeah, we're here on this trip. It started out as just a vacation, and then, of course, we got invited to this event. But I tell you, don't think that Penty just said, "Oh yeah, you come to this meeting, no problem, whatever." No, he said, "You need approval from the members before you even have a chance at coming to the event." So that was pretty stressful, waiting. And I said, "Did we get the approval yet?" No. And then a while, "Did we get the approval yet?" No. And he said, "We have to wait till the next meeting." Oh boy. So I did get the official participation in the Kaksonen group, so thank you for that, everybody. So while we're here, one of the other exciting things, as you heard, we're going to be getting married. It's obviously very special that we can get married in Finland, but the best part is none of our family back home can get involved in the wedding. So it's much better. We decide what happens. Then in addition to those things during the trip, in the last 6 months, I've worked in sales my whole life, 30 years in the fishing tackle industry. And in Canada, all of the fishing tackle comes from the United States, originating in China. So it's China, the United States, and then back into Canada. And other than Rapala, of course, the world's #1 lure manufacturer. So we started thinking all kinds of Canada and the US is not in a good place right now. So I said, why can't we sell the best products in the world from Finland in Canada ourselves? Why do we need to even deal with the United States? So we've had one meeting already, and we have a couple more scheduled. So our plan is to be importing some Finnish fishing tackle into Canada under the Kaksonen Nordic brands. So that's in place too. So that's pretty exciting. So if I'm able to sell something, maybe I'll have to come back here another year for a business meeting, and then we can meet again. So I'm going to play a short well, it's 20 minutes, and I apologize, it's in English as well, but it kind of gives, when I started digging into it, I thought, there's a lot here. And Penty said, "Do you want to present at the meeting?" And I said, geez, maybe I could do a short video. I thought maybe it's going to be 3 or 4 minutes. But Penty said, "How much time do you need for it?" And I was like, I was at like 45 minutes in this thing, so I had to shorten it down to get it to where it is. But I'll play that. Hopefully it's going to work.
Most people learn their family history from paper, old records, names, dates. I tried that, and yeah, it tells you something, but it doesn't tell you what it felt like. It doesn't tell you what the air smelled like, what the lakes looked like at sunrise, what it meant to step into a real Finnish sauna for the first time. My name is Kevin Kaksonen from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. My family came here from Finland in 1908, and for over 100 years, their story has just been written down. But not anymore, because I don't just want to read about where I come from, I want to live it. I want to walk the same land they walked, stand where they stood, fish the same lakes, feel the heat of the same saunas that shaped who they were. So I'm going back to Finland, back to where this story really begins. This isn't just a trip. This is me, finding out who I really am.
On the quiet shores of Onkivesi in the early winter of 1908, a place of faith and history stood waiting. Varni Papila had already watched generations come and go. The land became a rectory in the 1760s, and the building standing here now, completed in 1843, was the fourth to rise on this sacred ground. And on this cold November day, two young Finns would begin a journey that would carry them far beyond these shores. Antti Kaksonen and Anna Kasurinen. I now pronounce you husband and wife.
In the early 1900s, life in Finland was marked by harsh living conditions and limited opportunities. Many faced struggles just to survive. Meanwhile, Canada was actively encouraging immigrants to come and start a new life. The promise of a better life, fertile land, and job prospects drew many Finns across the ocean. They sought hope and a chance to build a brighter future in a land of opportunity. In May of 1909, Anna and Antti made a bold decision. They decided to leave everything behind and embark on a new adventure in Canada. With dreams of a brighter future, they packed their belongings and set off on a journey that would change their lives forever. In 1909, Antti and Anna would have crossed the Atlantic not in comfort, but deep in the belly of the ship, in steerage aboard the SS Victorian. Hundreds of passengers were packed into tight, dimly lit quarters where fresh air was scarce and privacy didn't exist. Iron bunks were stacked in rows, often damp from condensation, with the constant roll of the ocean making sleep difficult, especially for those overcome with seasickness. The smell of coal smoke, salt water, and unwashed bodies lingered in the air, while meals were simple and meager: hard bread, thin cabbage or potato soup, and the occasional bit of salted meat, eaten shoulder to shoulder with strangers from many different countries. Disease spread easily in these confined conditions, and for many, the journey was not just uncomfortable, but dangerous. And yet, despite it all, they endured it, driven by the hope of a better life waiting on the other side of the ocean. Anna and Antti Kaksonen stepped off the great steamship into the bustling port of Quebec City,
their long and exhausting Atlantic crossing finally behind them. The air was sharp and unfamiliar, filled with the sounds of shouting dock workers, clanging cargo, and languages they did not understand. But their journey was far from over. With only their belongings and determination, they boarded a crowded immigrant train that would carry them deep into the vast wilderness of northern Ontario. In the early 20th century, many Finnish individuals set their sights on Canada in pursuit of new opportunities and a better life. Finnish emigration to Canada was a journey marked by hope and the promise of a brighter future. The 1901 Canadian census was the first to officially record Finnish residents, noting 2,500 individuals of Finnish origin. This marked the beginning of a significant cultural and demographic shift in areas of Canada, particularly Ontario. Finnish immigrants often found work in the demanding mining industry. The labor was fraught with danger and hardship, conducted underground with minimal lighting and extensive health hazards, such as silicosis due to constant dust inhalation. Accidents were common, and fatalities were an ever-present risk. Manual tools like picks and shovels remained prevalent. The industrial activities in Sudbury heavily impacted the landscape, with sulfur fumes decimating vegetation and leaving a stark, barren terrain. Sudbury became a notable hub among the Finnish settlers, and the Finnish community was known for its bootlegging establishments. In the early 20th century, this provided social outlets and comfort for the immigrants. These venues were more than just businesses. They were cultural touchstones that helped maintain the community's spirit in a new land. Finnish immigrants brought with them a rich cultural heritage that enhanced the Canadian mosaic. They introduced traditions such as sauna culture, Finnish festivals, and culinary specialties. These cultural contributions enriched Canada's cultural landscape, fostering greater understanding and acceptance among diverse communities. These contributions remain with us even today. Antti and Anna, however, did not journey from another land to attend festivals. They had important work to do. They had saved enough money, and they were on the move again. Antti and Anna acquired a plot of land beside beautiful Middle Lake just outside the town of Sudbury. The Middle Lake area was not a town, it was raw wilderness. When they arrived at the property, they did not see houses, there were no farms, and no infrastructure. Instead, they found forests that had never been cut and land that needed to be cleared by hand. Winters that were long, brutal, and isolating. Their first steps included building a rough log shelter and clearing land with axe and saw. Fishing in the lake and hunting in the forest sustained the family with the help of small garden plots. Antti Kaksonen was born on June 22, 1884, in the quiet village of Kesalahti, Finland. He was the son of Mauno Kaksonen and Vilhelmina Tortianen, and grew up alongside his brother Matti and his sisters Vilhelmina and Henrietta. This is where the story begins. Anna was born on August 17, 1883, in the Pielisjärvi region of Finland. She was the daughter of Aaron Kasurinen and Anna Rissanen. This is where her story begins.
June 17, 1913, was a special day for the family. Uno Kaksonen was the first of our name, born on Canadian soil. Tuna Kaksonen was born on August 27, 1914, in Coppercliff, Ontario, the second child of Auntie and Anna. Her birth marked another step forward for a young Finnish family building a new life in Canada.
1915 brought the birth of another son, baby Reino Kaksonen. During the 1916 year, there was both joy and sadness. The birth of another son, Tauno, on November 23rd, helped to ease the pain of losing young son Reino only 2 months earlier. March 11th, 1919, brought Anna and Antti yet another son. My grandfather, George Kaksonen, was born to complete the family. And, for obvious reasons, I am glad that happened.
In the spring of 1928, the children walked each morning to their small one-room schoolhouse, a simple wooden building that stood quietly along the rural roads near their home. Inside, all ages learned together under a single teacher, lessons written in chalk on a worn blackboard, the room warmed by a wood stove during the colder months. Uno, nearly 15, was among the oldest students and often helped the younger children, including his siblings. Tuna, 13, sat attentively, already showing a strong sense of responsibility.
Tauno, 11, balanced curiosity with mischief, while young George, just 9, absorbed everything around him with wide-eyed interest.
Their days were structured yet humble. Reading, writing, arithmetic, and discipline, all within one shared space that shaped not only their education, but their character. As the children entered their teenage years, life began to change. Childhood gave way to responsibility. In Northern Ontario, there was little separation between growing up and becoming an adult. Each day was shaped by the needs of the family, working the land, gathering wood, helping in the home, and preparing for the long winters that defined life in the North. School became less central, replaced by real-world lessons. Strength, discipline, and resilience were not taught, they were lived. There was little time for idleness. Every task mattered, and every member of the family was expected to contribute. This document records the marriage of Tuna Kaksonen, the first of the children to marry. She was married to John Ursula on December 16, 1935, in the city of Sudbury, Ontario. At the time of their marriage, John Ursula was 26 years old, working as a miner, born in Finland, and listed as a bachelor. Tuna was 21 years old, working as a domestic, born in Coppercliff, Ontario, and listed as a spinster. Both were of the Lutheran faith and residing in Sudbury at the time. John was the son of August Ursula and Ida née Maki. The marriage was witnessed by Bill Oja and Mrs. Bill Oja, both of Sudbury. This document records the marriage of Uno Kaksonen. He was married to Mamie Irene Pellinen on September 28, 1941, in the town of Timmins, Ontario. At the time of their marriage, Uno was 28 years old, working as a miner, and listed as a bachelor. Mamie Irene Pellinen was 22 years old, working as a waitress and listed as a spinster. Both were of the Lutheran faith. Una was residing in Timmins, Ontario, and was born in Sudbury, Ontario. Mamie was also residing in Timmins and was born in Sudbury, Ontario. Mamie was the daughter of Kali Pelanen and Mina, née Heitonen. The marriage was witnessed by Anna Juntio and Bill Lundquist. This document records the marriage of George Victor Kaksonen. He was married to Pirkko Ester Koski on March 8, 1942, in the city of Sudbury, Ontario. At the time of their marriage, George was 23 years old, working as a farmer and listed as a bachelor. Pirkko Ester Koski was 20 years old and listed as a spinster. Both were of the Lutheran faith. George was residing in Broder Township, Ontario. Pirkko was residing in Sudbury, Ontario, and was born in Coppercliff. Pirkko was the daughter of Otto Koski and Alexandria, née Tainio. The marriage was witnessed by George Freeman and Mrs. Martha Elizabeth Freeman, both of Sudbury. Pirkko grew up surrounded by the values they carried with them: hard work, resilience, and a deep connection to their Finnish heritage. These were not just traditions, they were a way of life. Pirkko carried that legacy forward. There was a quiet strength in her, steady, dependable, and deeply rooted in family. Like many young women of her time, she understood responsibility early, helping at home and growing into the role expected of her. But there was also warmth, a calm presence, the kind of strength that didn't need to be spoken. When she met George, their lives came together naturally. Two families shaped by the same journey, the same sacrifices, and the same northern landscape. And through that union, Pirkko became part of the story, helping carry it forward into the next generation. Karen Rantala was born on April 17, 1944. She would go on to become a guiding light in the lives of many, sharing her wisdom, teaching essential life skills, and passing down her knowledge of mathematics, sewing, and baking. Karen was also a natural entertainer, bringing joy and laughter wherever she went. And above all, she deeply loved her family. Through her warmth and care, she helped shape not just skills, but strong, capable people. On February 27, 1950, family welcomed another new beginning. Kenneth Andrew was born into a world already shaped by hard work, resilience, and deep family roots. By this time, the foundation had been set. Ken was born into a home where values were clear. Work came first, family was everything, and the land provided both challenge and purpose. He would grow up surrounded by it all, the forests and the lakes. The stories of those who came before him, from his grandparents who crossed the ocean to his parents who built a life from the ground up. Ken was born into that legacy, and in time, he would begin to shape his own. In 1962, the opening of Highway 637 changed everything. What had once been a remote stretch of wilderness, reachable only by water or air, was suddenly within driving distance of Sudbury. For George, the timing couldn't have been better. With his son Ken growing up and the temptations of downtown, the billiard halls and city distractions becoming harder to ignore, George saw an opportunity. George decided it was the correct decision to purchase the family property on Tyson Lake. He introduced Ken into the quiet of the bush. There, along the shoreline, Ken learned lessons no city could teach: how to fish, how to hunt, to respect the land, and how to live with purpose.
The new road may have opened to the north, but for George and Ken, it opened a path to something far more important. Surrounded by love, family, and the promise of a future yet to be written, April 19th, 1969 marked the beginning of a life built on commitment, resilience, and deep connection. From this day forward, their story would grow into something far greater than either of them could have imagined, a legacy that would carry on through generations. On October 22nd, 1970, the family welcomed another new beginning. Carrie Lynn was born into a family already shaped by generations of strength, tradition, and resilience. By this time, the foundation had been firmly built. From Finland to Northern Ontario, through years of hard work and sacrifice. On January 24th, 1973, another chapter began. Kevin Andrew was born into a family whose story had already traveled generations, from Finland to the forests and lakes of Northern Ontario, through hardship, resilience, and the building of a life from the ground up. By the time Kevin was born, the foundation was strong. The values were clear: family, work, respect for the land. He grew up surrounded by those influences, not just in words, but in the way life was lived every day. And over time, that connection became more than just part of his upbringing. For over 30 years, Kevin has worked in the fishing and hunting industry, living the same outdoor traditions that shaped the generations before him. The stories of those who came before him were never far away. They were part of him. And in time, Kevin would not just carry that story forward, he would begin to tell it.